So back in 2022, when AFTERSUN was making some waves as being A24's newest humane drama, I watched not all of it, but I had an extremely bizarre experience with it. You ever watch a movie that's forgettable? Of course, I know you have. But my experience with AFTERSUN was different. I tried watching it twice, and both times I would forget what was on the screen second by second. I knew that in order for me to actually critique AFTERSUN with any sort of merit and not have the same experience as I did back in 2022, I was going to have to wait a long time for it. So here we are. I know it's been a few years, but I just simply got around to seeing it just recently, and yeah, I don't know what on earth was going on with me during both those watches in 2022, but yeah, this is the best film of the year. It is a devastating, shattering film about parents in general, even though the movie centers in on a father and his daughter. Even so, it's very deep, and even though some of the cinematography things are strange, none of it's stupid or anything. The movie is slow, but it's extremely rewarding, extremely gratifying. You're gonna end up thinking about this movie long after it finishes, but thinking about this movie more, it's gonna crush you even harder. So the movie is somehow autobiographical, based on some anecdotes of Charlotte Wells, and it centers in on the memories of this girl named Sophie. She and her single father, they're going on this nice vacation in Turkey. Things seem to be going fine, but she's just about to reach puberty, wants to get a little bit of independence and whatever. But her father is really harboring a lot of depression. He's trying his very best to hide everything from Sophie, and even in some cases where any of the attention is going to be on him, he just can't handle it. He just can't take it. So the movie takes place, even though it's a 2022 film, takes place in the 90s, and she has one of those small camcorders. She tries to remember as much as she can by herself, like her own personal memory, and having the actual physical media of that she was filming, it's going to help her understand exactly what's going on, because what happened between them that time was essentially the last of everything. It was the biggest turning point in her life, and by looking at the stuff that she recorded on the camcorder and her own memories of what's going on, she can try to piece together and gain a little bit more of an understanding as to why that was essentially the last dance. While the majority of the film is Sophie and her father, there's not really a whole lot of really major energy that's happening. I mean, it's not really, this isn't really a boring film, but it's mostly just the sweet, tender moments with father and daughter, and they meet some random people at the resort. Like, Sophie ends up meeting these teenagers, and they all happen to be romancing one another in that clique. They're not assholes or anything, but you know, they're teens. Sophie is going to be a preteen soon, so you can kind of see where her interest lies a little bit more. And because she is young, she doesn't really fully understand the depression that her father's going through. Yeah, even though with the movie, it really sneaks up on you, and it just does just floor you. This is still one of the most tender and powerful films about parents really ever. It's already just about in the same league as like the great Santini and Kramer versus Kramer in terms of fathers. But as I said, it's not just fathers, it's parents in general. Look at how many women suffer from depression and try to keep it together for the kids. This movie just happens to deal with a father and his daughter. So yeah, the relatability that this movie has on with the viewer, that's another reason why I think that this movie really resonates so hard. So yeah, without question, it's a masterpiece. And I do not know what happened to me a few years ago when I first saw this, but it came full circle. I'll give AFTERSUN from 2022 4 stars. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.